Welcome back, folks. I am Jon Najarian, and it is your great pleasure, I'm sure, to join us for 3 at 3 every business day, presented for the entire viewing audience for free. We bring you 3 examples that are fresh from today for unusual option activity. And what is unusual option activity? Unusual option activity is buying in large chunks, upside calls or downside puts. The call side would be bullish, put side would be bearish. And we are looking for those footprints that are otherwise sort of brushed aside by the volume of trade being so great that you just don't see them. But as you might imagine, the computer sees all. So our algorithm, the heat seeker, sees those trades, brings them up to us, and then we ferret, dive through much of the data that we can find to find out exactly what might be going on, and of course, present it to our clients. We talk about it on CNBC, for instance, and we talk about it on 3 at 3. So without further ado, this is today's 3 at 3 for the 11th of August, 2021. You need to understand that when I am investing, I recognize that there's a risk in that investment. You need to do the same. There is no free lunch. So you need to understand that all investments involve risk. You also need to understand that we have intellectual property that we have spent decades building and basically distilling down to what you're about to see. So please do not take this and present it in a commercial venue without asking us. Let's take a look at LAC, which is Lithium America, because yesterday when the stock was 1667, and that's important, as you'll see in a sec, when it was 1667, we talked about this week, the 13th of August expiration, AUG 1750 calls. So those expire just 3 days from when we saw this, 2 days from today. Thursday and Friday. Friday, they're done. Just like Cinderella's coach turned into a pumpkin. These will either be something, a pumpkin, or nothing by Friday at close of business. So 14,000 is 1.4 million share equivalent. We saw that. And then here it is today. Note the volume. The yellow arrow there is pointing at the volume. 24,000 contract turnover. It only had an open interest after yesterday's huge volume of 14.61 thousand contracts. So in other words, they are nearly doubling the turnover in this one today. And that's a big volume number. So they traded all the way up to $1.80 as the stock traded all the way up to, let me see, high on the day for the stock was 1862. And it hit that about a half an hour into the trading day today. So if you were in yesterday, you were able to perhaps profit today. I, again, can't pull the trigger for you, but as I always say, when we are trading short dated options, we move quickly. I move quickly. So I have taken off close to 80% of this trade already, which doubled for us. We doubled our money. If you put $500 or $5,000, you had $1,000 or $10,000 behind it because this trade doubled like that. Bang. All right, let's get into the rest of what you need to know about, which includes that my brother Pete will be with AJ Monty, a chartered market technician and one of our experts at reading charts. AJ will break down diving into summer's hottest stocks at 4 p.m. That is approximately 52 minutes from right now at the time of this live broadcast. So if you want to join, there are still some spots, but it will fill up and then you won't be able to get it and use any of the information you glean from this until probably Friday, because we won't post this up until the afternoon tomorrow. But if you're in there live, you get it. Doesn't cost you a cent. Go to marketrebellion.com and sign up now. All right. First of today's 3 at 3 is NCR. The stock was 43.92, National Cash Register, or NCR. And the October 45 calls were what they had their focus on. Those calls have moved up. Why? Because the stock has moved up. For instance, it is 43.93 as of the time of that post by Glenn, who clipped that from a nice chart. And right now it is another 40 cents higher than that because it's trading 44.31 right now as I'm looking at it on the screen happily. And so these calls, folks, the October 45 calls, are out further in time. The further you go out in time, the less impact the movement of the stock has until, of course, they go deep in the money. These are not deep in the money. 44.31 means that they are still about 70 cents out of the money because they're the right to buy it at 45. Nonetheless, these calls are moving up. And so if you'd like to establish a trade out in October in this one, again, that's something you have to do. I can't do that for you. I like the odds on the trade because it's an at the money trade. You could buy the 43s this morning, which were $3. Now they're $3.40. You could still buy those 45s. They've moved up to $2.50. That's higher by 78% on the day. And that volume now, 5,600 contracts. If you owned the 45s and sold the 50s, for instance, for say $2.40 and sold the others at 80 cents, you would be in a $5 spread, the differential between those two strikes, and you would be in it for, again, 240 minus 80, you'd be in there for approximately $1.60. So you'd have a fabulous upside possibility if the stock moves through 45 towards 50. And you're not asking the stock to make as big a move and so forth. You can cut down on your exposure by doing that trade. Second of our 3 at 3 is TJX. It's one that Pete and I talk about a lot because we are true believers in TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and so forth, the home stores. Stock is 71.5 bucks. They're buying 5,300 of the October 75 calls. Interesting that both of these are October positions, right? So I'm going to pull up October's right now, tell you where these are trading. The expiration in October is the 15th. These October 75 calls are $4 out of the money. So you could elect to buy the 72.50s, which is what I bought. And hopefully if the stock keeps moving, I'll be able to sell the 75s against it. So in other words, I won't be buying what they bought because, again, I buy at the monies and sell out of the monies. That's generally what I do, 1-to-1. So this particular trade in real terms right now would cost you about 90 cents. It could go to 250, so you have better than a 2-to-1 risk reward. I always look for better than a 2-to-1, and I certainly try to get 3-to-1 risk rewards. There is the stock, 71.54. As you see, only 7 cents higher than where we established the trade. And if you pay attention to volume and or where the range on the stock is, there you see it. 70.88 was the low, 71.79 is the high. Now our third of today's 3 at 3 is WBA, which is Walgreens Boots Alliance. And Walgreens Boots Alliance stock just sub 50. They're buying the August 51 calls. Stock is 49.5-ish, and they're buying the 51 calls approximately $1.50 out of the money versus those August 51 calls. Now, these aren't the 13th of August calls, folks. These are the next week expiration calls. So with the stock right now trading at, let's see, 49.68, approximately the same price as that, can't get much closer than that. These options, the right to buy it at 51, are trading for, let me see, that's this week's, let me push that out to August. So the 51s are right now in WBA, Walgreens Boots Alliance, trading for 26 cents. Again, out of the money. Could you buy the 49s or the 49.50s? Yes, you could. I bought the 49 calls, not the 49.50s, but both, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Right now, those prices are $1.01 and 74 cents for the 49s or the 49.50s. Now, since I'm trying to get at least a 2-to-1 risk reward, if I buy the 49s and sell the 50s, for instance, I'm only getting a 1-to-1 risk reward because I can only get a little over 50 cents for the 50s. So that's not attractive to me. The 50 and a halves, I get about 38 cents versus that 49 at $1.01. So that one's a little more attractive to me because I'm basically paying about 70 cents, give or take, for something that could go to $1.50. So again, not fabulous on that. So you really have to kind of like the upside. And what I might end up doing, folks, is just taking off my 49s, rolling up to the 49 and a halves, and then try to sell a higher strike against it if we see a continuation of the rally. Questions? You can shoot them in to us on Twitter. At Jon Najarian is my Twitter account. That's at JONNAJARIAN. Joey Capitola, his handle is at Joey, JOEY _ there might even be 2 underscores there, 101. And he says, what do you think about SoFi before earnings tomorrow? Unusual option activity in October 1750s. Their Galileo acquisition powers Robinhood, Chime, and others. Well, Joey, I like SoFi. As you know, I talked about it recently. I think it was a question on CNBC's halftime report. And when I did, the stock was approximately 17. Stock right now is 16.75. It has not shown us a lot going into these earnings. Kathy Woods will definitely be watching close, as will I, but I will probably be out of this one, even with this October timeframe. Unless they really outperform tomorrow, Joey, I'm probably going to take it off after the earnings because we're going to see a pretty significant volatility compression after the earnings. Bank America, BAC, financials have had a great week. Loved Pete's call in BAC. I love that call too. Any more upside call buying in the financials? We've had some, but the Bank America was the best. And that's really the only one I want to comment on right now. But Open Road, glad you had some. The handle there is at Open, OPENROADSW7. Thank you. And we've got Ramon, who looks like he must be a marathoner or something. He's got a big medal hanging around his neck. Congratulations, Ramon. His handle is at *_investor. STAR_INVESTOR. So maybe that medal's for investing. Coin, volatility should go down after earnings. Yes. What option strategy would you consider and in which cycle? Well, as you know, I had coin call spreads. It moved up. It didn't like rock, but it moved up. And right now it's higher by $12. I think they put up some impressive numbers. I think the leadership team is among the best in crypto, although Sam and the team over at FTX would give anyone a run for their money. I love Sam. Sam Bankman-Fried, I think his name is. Anyway, Coinbase, I like it. I think I would be aggressively writing calls at the 280 strike against this because I don't know how much more we get out of this, and I would certainly tell you that that's what I did on the pop. Thank you. And that's going to do it for today. Don't forget to go over to marketrebellion.com. There you can sign up for today's meeting, which will be in about 42 minutes from right now, as of the taping of this. Marketrebellion.com /get started will also get you all of the various offerings that we have to get you started in trading stock, options, futures, cryptocurrencies. You can do it all at marketrebellion.com. Check it out. And when you go to marketrebellion.com, sign up, because Pete's going to start right at 4 o'clock Eastern time today. Make sure you're there. The only way to be there will be to sign up now. That's going to do it for us, folks. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll be on the halftime report tomorrow as well. Bang.